Hey everyone, Eric here with Chicago Bears Daily. Today I'm going to be touching a little bit on the defense for next season, kind of what to expect here, and a little bit of a comparison from last year's defensive season. Now, today I was actually reading an article, and the prediction for this next year is that the Bears season, defensively speaking, is going to be completely one of the worst in the league. And we were one of the worst in the league last year. I mean, not one of the worst, but we were not in the top half, I would say, based on takeaways and points allowed and yards given up. And so from that standpoint, it's almost harder to think that it can get much worse. But there's actually a kind of a bright side in all of the players that we've lost and kind of like where we go from last season, because so I kind of broke it down based on the two main pieces that we've either lost or given up. Clearly losing Khalil Mack on paper and in the eye test it hurts, and losing Akeem Hicks, that's another that hurts really, really bad. But I started thinking of it sort of in a different mindset here, and both of those players are aging superstars. So Khalil Mack I would say he's coming out of his prime, and on the Bears he had that first year that he came here, he was a wrecking ball, and then offensive game plans were to double team him, triple team him. So He created plays for many other players on the defensive front, and that's something that we're going to be missing tremendously. Akeem Hicks as well. It took two guys to guard that man. He was a bull rush in the middle. He was a great run stopper, and it's obviously going to hurt losing both of those guys. But if you think about it like this a little bit, so last year Akeem Hicks played 9 games out of a total of 17 games now. So he's playing just a little over half of the season, and you hate to say it, you hate to see it, because when he's on the field, he's such a productive beast lineup. He's like the heart and soul, the heartbeat of the defense. But he's an aging superstar, and we obviously lost him to free agency. We didn't want to give him all the money, and it hurts. It really does. It hurts. It hurts to let a man like that go, because he's a real football talented player. He loves the game. He brings that he brings that passion. He brings that energy. And losing him is a big blow to the locker room, and it's something you hate to see. So of those 9 games that he played, he actually only had 25 total tackles. So that's solo tackles and assisted tackles. And just for comparison, I'm going to compare it to the best tackler on our team, Roquan Smith. Last year, Roquan had 163 tackles, and he played on 17 out of 17 games. So you have to think of it like Roquan is going to be here for the long haul. We're paying that man, and he's an up and coming talent. He hasn't even scratched his prime yet. So to keep him and to pay him to this new regime, they have to kind of know where to allocate their money, and to allocate it toward a young rising superstar in our linebacker position, a history position in the Bears, middle linebacker, except now I believe he's getting tested at outside linebacker, but that's for a different story. To pay the man who has and by the way, the second leading tackler on our team had 87, so he had nearly double the total tackles that our second player had. So that's just an extreme example. And then the next example here that we're losing, it hurts. It hurts a lot, but it's Khalil Mack. And at face value, it looks like we gave Khalil Mack for peanuts and potato chips, right? So we only got, I believe, 2 picks for him, 2 draft picks. Not a lot, and we're eating some of the dead cap space that he was guaranteed money for this year. And he's also obviously a fan favorite. That first game that he played against the Packers he was a wrecking ball. He he was a menace, and there was many games where he was a menace out there, and he was awesome. But it's you have to think of it like we kind of missed the window there, and it really hurts. It really hurts to say, because now we kind of have to face reality. I could tell you exactly where I could tell you exactly where I was standing, exactly what I was doing when I saw on the TV that we traded for Khalil Mack, because that was like, holy shit, like that was like the most groundbreaking move that I'd seen the Bears do in a very, very long time. And there's nothing takes away from Khalil Mack's production, his excitement level that he brought to Chicago. He was a Bear, and he had a great career here. And I think he's going to go out to the Chargers, and I think he's going to have a very productive season, because they have more of a system right now. It seems like they're a little more set up for someone like him. So it hurts to say, but keep this in mind. So Khalil Mack, he played 7 games last season out of 17. So he missed 10 games with injury. He is slightly, his even being slightly past his prime, that's still a his like slight past prime is still menace. It demands like 2-3 tackles to come over and block him, which opens up for everybody else. But if he's missing 10 games in a season, and he only had 19 total tackles, which I found that really, really hard to believe, and he had 6 sacks, and Akeem Hicks only had 3.5 sacks. Now, if you've heard me talk before, I'm more of an eye test guy than I am a stats guy. But at the same time, you have to kind of look at the stats as well, because we know, if you watch Bears games, you know that Khalil is getting double teamed every game. You know that he literally, offensive coordinators come in and they game plan for Khalil Mack. So we're losing that aspect, getting rid of him. It's absolutely going to hurt to not have that man lined up on the edge. But if he's only available for 7 games and we're paying him all that money, and it hurts, it stings to say, but at what point are you kind of just like throwing money in the wind? And I think that kind of went into the evaluation of Ryan Poles. He was kind of like, he kind of had that he had to make that snap decision, and it's to trade him for pickles and potatoes, or hold on to him and throw your money in the wind, hope that he comes back as a dominant force. He's a little bit more injury prone, and he chose the former. He chose to kind of trade him, release him, and next year that's going to open up that cap space, because clearly right now we don't have any big names on defense. We don't have any huge names on offense. So to open up that cap space for next year, it's going to be somewhat of like a relief. I feel like we'll have a chance to start fresh. And Khalil Mack, he was that dude. He's still, I actually do believe, I feel like he's going to make us look goofy for getting rid of him this season. He's going to go out and have a great year, I think, out in with the Chargers. But I feel like to progress, you can't hold on to these guys that are at the top of their game and like pretty much have nowhere to go but like either stable or even like decline a little bit. And we need to be signing guys like Roquan who are on their way up and they're going to be better. And you can argue Eddie Jackson had a down year last year, but he had no help there in the secondary. It was literally him and Jalen Johnson fighting for their lives back there. And with our star defensive front guys rushing out, the quarterbacks had all year to throw back there. So it all plays hand in hand here. And we drafted 11 guys in this draft. So from our new, I can't think of his name, our new corner and our new safety, Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon, those are going to be huge help. And we have to essentially count on our other guys to step up. We have to count on, I think we lost Bilal Nichols as well, which stinks. And you could say Robert Quinn is an aging guy, but he's a guy that just broke the Bears' single season sack record. You can't get rid of him the year after he does that. I think that just is classless. That's not a classy move. One guy that we really need to step up is Travis Gibson. He's a linebacker. He needs to go out there and he has to be essentially he has to go out. He's gonna have to fill some big shoes, but he's gonna have to put on some rush. And so these younger guys are gonna get more of an opportunity here. I think it'll be exciting to see who fills these holes. And yes, we are going to have a struggling defense this year and a struggling offense, but we're looking at the way this season should be looked at. This is the evaluation year. It will have to be who do we have on our roster right now that can make plays, who deserves to stay, and who should we be, because we're going to be having a ton of cap space next year. We're going to be having goofy money, I think like $157 million, I believe. And so to have that kind of money to play around with, and you're able to see your glaring holes on both sides of the football, that's what we're looking for. So this is year one of we'll call it a retooling process with our new management and our new coaching staff. And I think this is the year where we're not expecting anything major this year. No, that's not the way that we should go into this season. We have to go into this season knowing that we're at the bottom of the mountain right now, and we're not going to be the worst team in the league, but we're not going to be top 10. No, that would be shocking if we're anywhere, if we even scratch that. But we're looking up right now, because right now we have talent on our team. I won't say we're at the bottom of the mountain, maybe the bottom quarter of the mountain, we'll say. We're looking up right now. We could easily fall. We could easily slide even more. But we have talent on our team to keep us at that baseline. So I think it's goofy to kind of say that our defense is going to get much worse from last year, because it actually wasn't even that great last year to begin with. And so now we're adding a few playmakers in the draft on defense, and we're unfortunately getting rid of those guys that are superstars, but albeit they are injury prone, so they were missing games anyway. So it's going to give us an opportunity for our young guys to step up. Somebody has to come in and make plays. Our coaching staff needs to be pushing. We drafted ball hawks. We drafted guys that lay the hammer. So more turnovers, it's going to be big time. We need turnovers. We need to get pressure on the quarterback, and most importantly, we need to come out with a good game plan, defensive-wise and offensively. That's for a different discussion, though. If you think the Bears defense is going to be bottom of the league, top of the league, middle of the road, if you have any thoughts on what the Bears defense could be, what it should be, who's going to come in and fill a position, feel free to leave a comment in. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to say that in there as well. I always love discussions. I could talk about this for forever. So feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave a like, and please subscribe. We appreciate the support here. We are having a blast making these videos and just talking Bears football. That's what it is. We're talking football. We're getting excited for the season. So thanks. We reached over 1,000 recently, so 1,000 subscribers. So we appreciate the continued support, and we will keep putting out videos. So feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.